Happy Monday, and welcome to this episode of Talk Social News. I'm Kip Bodner.
And I'm Wayne Sutton.
And we've got an action-packed show for you today. A lot of news happened over the weekend. So, Wayne, let's kick it off first with tomorrow, or today, really, excuse me. We're recording this on Sunday for Monday. So, on Monday, it's Gmail's 5-year anniversary. And it's still in beta, let's remember. So there's supposed to be a big announcement come tomorrow. 5 years for Gmail. What do you think, Wayne? What are we going to see tomorrow?
Well, I don't know about what exactly we're going to see, but I hope we see an update of the release of the Gmail iPhone app, and something you was talking about earlier, push notifications.
Yeah. Push email notification to the iPhone, I think, would be a smart move for them. You know, they could take it out of beta, but everything I've read said they're not going to. So,
yeah. And then the
announcements happen over.
Yeah, and the key with the iPhone app is that it's going to allow offline access to our email. So hopefully that does come out, and that'll be real big news from the Google team.
Yeah, and I know, and Google's been trying to make that, Gears offline accessibility happen with all of their products, and you can do it with Gmail on the browser now. So bringing that to a mobile experience is going to be pretty important. But we're going to move on to story number 2, which is Microsoft alienated all of the Mac fanboys with its Lauren commercial. If you haven't seen this, we'll put a link or something to the video of the commercial in the show. But essentially, this lady who is trying to buy a laptop for under $1,000, and she goes into the Apple store and says she can't get one with a 15-inch screen for $17. Oh yeah, 17-inch. It's all kind of craziness. Wayne, talk. What do you think here?
The crazy part about it is when she says that she's not cool enough, like, to buy a Mac.
Right.
Apparently, after she walks out of the Apple store. So, and it's interesting. I think the way Microsoft produced this commercial, I'm 90% sure that Lauren's a hired actor, not somebody like you or I that who felt that way. She could have been picked from the I'm a PC website that they have for user submissions, but the commercial is causing a stir. There's a guy, I think his name is Mark and Mitch. I think it's Mitch. He's offered to give his own 17 MacBook Pro to Lauren to use for free, to play with, so she can feel the experience of what it is to have a Mac, and she can be cool enough, because us, the Mac fanboy community, we feel like buying a PC just won't do Lauren good enough in her ventures.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's causing a lot of backlash. I think the bigger issue is, we're in the world of the social web. Do brands have to start being concerned about alienating other brands that have very strong customer evangelist following, like Apple with Wayne and his Apple mug that he's drinking out of right now, for example. Apple has a strong, loyal set of brand enthusiasts, and so do competitors. Do they draw on that? Do they play on and aggravate those brand enthusiasts on purpose, or do they try to stay clear of that because they're going to get into a war that Apple's going to receive all of this response and everything, and Apple's not paying for it at all. So there's a back and forth discussion and debate there. I think that was the biggest reason we want to talk about the Lauren, Lauren commercial today.
And one more other thing is that you look at the economy, you look at money is very, very important on everybody's mind, and you look at the recession we're in, and buying a 17-inch MacBook, 17-inch computer under $1,000 is really hitting home for Microsoft with this commercial. And hopefully Apple with June they come out with a better iPhone or even their own netbook, or lower the price to help level the playing field, so to speak.
Right, and part of Apple's brand is to keep a premium price level, but they do, I think, in this current economy, have to make some changes. So I think we'll see somewhere between June and September some other product lines introduced to kind of fix that budgetary issue, but still retain that premium level of positioning. And we're going to move into a different Apple-related note. We talked last week about the dates for Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference being announced, because that's for June 8th is when that's going to start, because we said, they're going to announce another iPhone, it's going to be there. Well, rumor on the web now is that Palm is going to move up the official public launch of its pre-device to April 30th. Wayne, do you think this is a direct move to try to preempt Apple's big announcement in June?
Most definitely, most definitely. I mean, everybody's trying to stay ahead of the game when it comes to trying to beat Apple to the punch, beat consumers before purchasing or an Apple device, and so it'll be smarter of them to release their Palm Pre, in April before June, so people get their hands on it, and hopefully, for them that the buzz will be that the new Palm Pre is a great device, and people go and get in contract with that device versus going in and getting a new iPhone coming in June or going from there. But it's been a rumor, it started on Twitter by some Palm Pre beta testers, and only time will tell.
Right, and for what it's worth, I do know a lot of people that are Sprint customers right now that are kind of holding out. They're wanting to check out the Pre to figure out if they should get the Pre or they should switch to the iPhone. So I do think, Palm probably is going to make a smart move if they do push that release up, ahead of the iPhone 3.0 software announcement. And if there is a new device, there's probably a lot of sales they could make in that 60 days if they could announce it at the end of this month. So for what it's worth, Palm, you probably should think about doing it if you can with the FCC regs and all of that crazy stuff. The next story is one that hits home today. Today's Sunday again. I know this is Monday's show, but the Final Four just concluded. Congrats to Wayne's North Carolina Tar Heels. I like the Tar Heels as well. So, but getting it back to the web, there's a site called NCAA Tweetness that was created all to really aggregate all the tweets and everything surrounded by the NCAA tournament. And so today, on the second day of the Final Four, if you went to NCAAtweetness.com, you got a message that said, temporarily unavailable. Keep tweeting about the NCAA.
Fail.
Not cool. Whoa, fail. And Twitter, and its side ads on the web interface was still referring people to the site even after it was down. So there was bad communication there. Wayne, what do you think about this? I mean, is there any excuse besides fail? I mean, I see your fail loud and clear. I mean, is there any excuse for this? I mean, is this just ridiculous?
No. I mean, we live in an age where it's not hard to launch a startup or any type of website. Your Amazon C3 service, I think that's what it is. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but their storage service and bandwidth issues and so forth. JavaScript or whatever, but you got to think about it. Everybody's complaining about the Twitter fail. Well, if you're going to launch some sort of Twitter-related site that aggregates tweets, you need to make sure it's stable because you know the amount of traffic that Twitter can bring. So, with that being said,
right. Fail. I mean, and these are people that were advertising on the new experimental advertising on the Twitter web interface. This is one of the major ads for Twitter-related services that is rotating through right now. So they knew it was going to get traffic. It's not like they didn't expect it. They knew it was going to get traffic. It's just unexcusable.
Yeah.
Wayne, do you want to take our final story of the day? Mark Cuban on Twitter.
Yeah. Mark Cuban. If follow basketball, Mark Cuban. He's a outspoken individual with the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, entrepreneur. He launched a couple of ventures back in the day, made a lot of money, and he owns the Dallas Mavericks. He's tweeting. He tweeted something about the game, and the NBA ended up finding him $25,000 for his tweet. And he posted another tweet saying that even though Twitter can't make money, like the NBA can make money off of Twitter because they're finding him. And so now he's tweeting today about all your tweets copyrighted. Who owns your tweet? So it goes back to that saying: be careful what you say on the internet, people, because eventually it will come back to you because it's you who's saying it, not Twitter.
I think Mark Cuban is a prime example of that. So keep it straight what you're saying, people. If you don't want people to know it, don't tweet it. Don't blog it. Don't do anything about it. The web knows all. Google knows all. Remember that. Yeah. Okay, we're closing up the show today. Wayne's shirt today. What shirt are you supporting?
Carver Creative Co-working. Go to CarveroCowork.com here in Carver, North Carolina. Check out Brian R. on Twitter. Thanks for the T-shirt, buddy. Send us your shirt.
And I'm rocking Buello. I got this at South by Southwest. I haven't really played around with Buello that much, but I got their shirt. They gave it to me free, so I'm going to give them a shout out. We got to wrap this up real quick. Contact at TalkSocialNews.com if you have any questions or suggestions for the show. I'm at KBodner32 on Twitter.
And I'm Wayne Sutton. And as always,
until tomorrow, keep it social.